I laugh, I'm sorry.
My name is Dan Willis. I'm the founder and MD of Why. We're a brand strategy agency based in Bournemouth. What is our purpose? Well, we look to help brands and agencies redefine their purpose, actually go back to why they started business in the first place. Obviously, we all want to make money, but actually, why did a founder, why did a managing director actually start their business in the first place? So, going back to your question, why did we start originally? Well, I didn't enjoy working with the large corporates, the sort of the public sector that I was working in within agencies, and then coincidentally with the birth of my boy, I decided to actually start making something for myself and actually start being proud of the work that I'm doing. So my purpose realistically is to help other people live positively with their lives, but for me to actually do that properly, I need to do that for myself first.
Why is brand so important?
Well, it's funny, people talk about branding, but actually we don't do any of the fluffy stuff. I can't draw. But what we mean by branding is actually going back to, as I said, the real purpose of an organisation and trying to understand how that story can be told to the public or to other businesses or even to members of the team internally. A lot of the work we do are internal comms related. So the reason why brand is so important is because actually people follow a purpose a lot better than actually following, say, a product. You can believe in a purpose, you can believe in a brand, but actually, can you really believe in a shampoo that is great for your hair? No, you believe in what actually goes into that. You believe into the ethics behind it. Hence why businesses like Lush or businesses like Apple have really succeeded in the past, because what they do is they don't focus on selling product, they focus on selling the brand themselves, and that's why it's so important, and we focus on that.
Before they come to an agency, what sort of content should be included? What are the sort of things they need to be thinking about?
Well, when you're just starting out, really it's about differentiating. It's about why you're in business in the first place. So what is your purpose as a business owner? Whereas actually once you start establishing your brand, establishing your business, then it's about defining your tone of voice, understanding your target market, so seeing who should really buy your product. You shouldn't need to sell to everyone. Yes, it'll be great if everyone bought your product, for example, but actually there are always going to be certain people who are more susceptible. We call them early adopters or innovators, and then by them buying a product and using their testimony, then actually the majority can be brought in as well. So by having more focused campaigns that have the right tone, have the right imagery, have the right strategy to take in those early adopters and innovators, then you can be very successful in how you implement any campaigns.
What's key in the content that you produce? Can you just do it in like the personality and the writing that you do?
I think a blend of both.
Yeah.
But visual is becoming more and more important. When you look at video and engagement that people have had, you see that it is a lot higher than maybe a blog post, for example. And you're seeing more and more social media going in that direction as well. So when you're selling a brand, when you're selling a product, then conveying your service, conveying your purpose through video. When you're conveying yourself, when you're conveying your brand, your purpose, conveying it through video can be a lot easier and a lot more powerful.
Important, but maybe not as important as the general content, the general feel of like their website and how they structure themselves.
I think there's a lot of hookup over how a logo does look. My personal belief is that as long as it's accessible, then that is the most important factor. As long as it resonates with your target audience as well, that is also very important. We look at things like color wheels quite often when it comes to developing the brand design, the creative design of a business. And there are certain colors that convey a different message to an audience. And so it all depends on the tone that your brand or your business wants to purvey.
Personally, getting into branding, like how did this happen? What's your backstory?
So I'm a marketer at heart. Yeah, I love strategy. I love marketing for businesses, and I actually got into brand accidentally. My focus has always been in developing strategies for businesses, looking at the user journey that a consumer may have with that business. And it became very apparent that not only was the SEO, all the online digital, all the traditional marketing, not only was that important, but actually the overall arching story of a business was as well. So I then started understanding more around psychology, more around the reason why people would actually want to engage with a business, which led me into branding. And the people that I've been able to employ or work with have also enabled me to be more successful in that area as well.
Fantastic. Okay, and deviating probably further away from the whole branding thing. Obviously, you started this business on your own. You've done it in the past as well. You've set up your own bar. Why do you like setting up your business? And what do you think are the driving forces that make you go, yeah, I'm going to do this on my own, essentially, without minimal help?
I enjoy the risk, and I enjoy the freedom that comes with working for myself. I'm very proud of what I've been able to achieve by myself. So creating or owning my own bars back when I was in my late teens, all the way through to creating Y. I've been very proud of the hard work that goes into it. My lifestyle is very important, and I think it's something that I can't quite get with working for an employer, whereas the flexibility that working for myself gives me has perfectly suited my own life. It means that I get to spend time with my family, but I get to work on incredible campaigns and projects as well.
And things that you're actually completely passionate in.
Yeah, definitely. It means that I can be at the forefront of trying to help people, and being able to have the control over working with people that I want to, as opposed to being assigned a client and working on projects or campaigns that don't necessarily fit within my own personal purpose.
The kind of things they need to be aware of before going, yeah, I'm going to sign on with them, give them a budget. What sort of things do they need to be looking out for before making that commitment?
So we do things slightly different to, say, in a traditional marketing or brand agency. A lot of businesses focus on the turnover and the profitability of an organisation. We know that's very important, so we always keep an eye on that side of things. However, where we differ is we look to understand the purpose and what drives the business through the initial founder or any stakeholders. And what we need off that is we need to really drive and find their why, their true purpose, and how that can then filter through to employees and also filter over to the consumer as well. So when we initially engage with our clients through kickoff meetings or discovery sessions, then what we look to do is fully identify that individual's purpose, which can then dictate what the business purpose is as well. It's a prime example. So some of the questioning. So we ask any of our prospects to, or any of our clients to do some homework before we actually speak to them initially. One of the things we ask them is to come prepared with numerous stories that have affected their lives in some way, and we will then cover those stories throughout the initial discovery session. Now, these stories may be business related. They could be all about how they started their business in the first place, or they could be even going back to their childhood and how, sitting on granddad's lap and talking about the war, or whatever stories come out, how that's impacted their lives. And what we then look to do is understand their true purpose, their true meaning of life, I suppose you could call that, and what drives them individually. And that can then help drive their business successfully, as opposed to chasing a quick buck.
Fantastic. Okay, so for my final question is, obviously you've done a lot of work with on the mental health side of things. How does that fit with Y? Does that impact Y at all? Are they separate? Are they interlinked? How do they marry together?
So at Y, we believe in driving to our own individual purposes as well. So, which sounds like a complete buzzword wankery situation, but we understand that anyone who works with us, they need to be driven in the right way. So we promise to spend between 20% to a third of our time actually working on projects that we're actually passionate about, that really engage with us. So my own personal purpose relates around mental health. So as a lot of people know, I live with bipolar on a daily basis. I was diagnosed a few years ago now, and my whole purpose has been about understanding how I can live positively with it, and which is now actually transcended to making other people aware of what mental health is and destigmatizing it as well. So helping other people be more positive with their mental health and being able to speak up about it and normalize that conversation. So to answer your question, really, the amount of mental health work that we do is directly linked with what Y is all about, because my purpose as the founder is all about helping those live positively with their mental health. And through the work that we've done with Dorset Mind, for example, and the day-to-day campaign that is currently in operation, we are able to actually preach, but also practice we're able to practice what we preach.
Why is Y different to another, I think, typical agency? Obviously no agency is typical. Why is Y different? Does that make sense?
So I could fill this with every buzzword in the world.
I dare you.
A lot of agencies have a stereotype of working in buildings like this and having bean bags and really focusing on the whole what of agency life or of a business. What makes us different is we really do focus on the true purpose of an organisation. We've found so much more success from doing that. Hence why we have a 50-50 split between working with agency side, so helping define agencies, help them drive to succeed, but also working with brands as well. We enjoy both, but we have a real success rate with agencies, enabling them to be more honest about their approach, be more transparent, and have integrity as well. So often we see agencies where they chuck every buzzword out, they talk about their culture in huge amounts, where in actual fact, when you look under the hood, they treat their staff like shit. So what we do is we really go back to basics, and we go, what drives each individual employee and how can you get the most out of them, and how can they get the most out of your business as well. And that's where we've had the most success with agencies. That's what makes us different. What also makes us different is we don't pretend to do everything as well, because like I said, I can't draw, so I find someone who can. We have an incredible partner network, most of which who we work with anyway to help develop their own agency brand. But we have people, we have experts, we have specialists able to implement a lot of the work that we put in. So we define that brand message, we define really the purpose of an organisation, and then to be able to take that purpose and actually build it, say for example as a website, or create other assets, then we have this network that we can utilise and deliver.
A lot of partners, we've worked together, you've worked with obviously a load of other people. What do you look for in a partner when you want to work with them? Is it just what they can do, or is it like a combination of things?
I think to work with another business, I think what we appreciate more than anything else is when we can speak to someone and there is no bullshit, that is completely honest in that approach. Like when we work with you guys, when we work with the likes of Many or Cold Banana, or any of our agency clients, what we truly look for is just an honest approach. We look to work with business owners who appreciate their staff, who practice what they preach. We don't need to get along with them. We don't have to go for a beer with every single one of our clients. That's not who we are. But we just like to know that our ethics are aligned in some shape or form.